Hey, good evening. Thanks for joining us for our Old Testament studies. We've moved into the sanctuary here today because we've got folks in there working on the Operation Christmas Child boxes. So we've came in here to do our evening chapter 20 of 2 Samuel. Chapter 20 of 2 Samuel. Looks like about one more month. We'll finish 2 Samuel because I think I counted there's 24 chapters. Chapter 20 is... Well, we just finished with David's son Absalom definitely leading a revolt and splitting the kingdom until Joab kills him when he's hung in the tree. And that kind of put things back together. But chapter 20 is like, okay, here's another little revolt that happened in David's time. David brought a lot of this trouble on himself. Remember, God promised him that the sword wouldn't depart from him and his family over his sins with Bathsheba and all that was involved with that. So it keeps haunting him, but he's king, and now there's somebody else rises up going to try to split the kingdom, the divided nation, civil war once again. Chapter 20. It's a rated R chapter. I'll go ahead and warn you, it's literally blood and it's literally guts and there's heads flying over walls. So it begins with chapter 20, verse 1. There happened to be a man of Belial. Now remember, in the Bible, when you run across this term, you'll see it quite a bit throughout the Old Testament. They'll be called sometimes sons of Belial, sometimes a man or men of Belial. And the term just simply means, boy, they were big lowlifes. So here's somebody who's a big lowlife, and he's going to try to take over the kingdom here. So he gets some followers. There happened to be there a man of Belial whose name was Sheba. He was the son of Bichri, who was a Benjamite. Now, in this case, this big lowlife man of Belial, he's supposed to be one of God's people. He's of the tribe of Benjamin. But he blew a trumpet, got everybody's attention. He said, "We have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse," that'd be David. "Every man to his tents, O Israel." So every man of Israel went up from after David, and they began to follow Sheba, the son of Bichri. But the men of Judah, who were still following David, so we got the divided nation again, the men of Judah clave to their king from Jordan even to Jerusalem. And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, his concubines. Now, this is important. We've got to go back a little bit. Remember, when Absalom led his revolt, somebody told him, said, "Go up and go in unto David's concubines on the roof in the sight of all the people." So this is who we come back to now. David remembers that, and he goes and gets them 10 women. And he had left to keep the house when he went off into the wilderness during fleeing from Absalom. And when he takes back over control, he comes home and he puts them in ward or isolation. And he fed them, but he went not into them. They were shut up to the day of their death, living in widowhood. He kept them up and fed them, but didn't have nothing to do with any of these women anymore. Then said the king to Amasa, who David had appointed in Joab's place. Joab had been his faithful general all these years. Now, remember, when he's trying to put the nation back together, he puts Amasa over as his general here. And he tells Amasa, he says, "Assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days. Get the army together, get them all gathered up. Got 3 days, and you be here present." So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he didn't come back in time. He tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed him. And David then he said to Abishai, who was always faithful to him here, said, Now shall Sheba the son of Bichri do us more harm than Absalom. He's going to peddle around and give him a heads, and this is going to hurt more than Absalom's uprising. So David says, you take the Lord's servants and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us. He's going to get more time than he needs down there, and he's going to get fortified. We won't be able to catch him. So verse 7, there went out after him Joab's men, the former general, and the Cherethites and the Pelethites and all the mighty and all the mighty men, the army's going after him. Now they went out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. And they were at the great stone which is in Gibeon. Back in the time this was written, everybody would recognize. They got down to that big stone that everybody knows about down there in Gibeon. And then there Amasa catches up. He went before them. And Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it a girdle with a sword. fastened upon his loins in the sheath thereof. And as he went forth, his sword fell out. I guess he picked it back up here and had it in his right hand, it looks like, because verse 9 says, And Joab said to Amasa, Are you in good health, my brother? Are you in health, my brother? Now, Joab, he's always seemed like he's got a revenge on his mind. Remember, David told him not to kill his son, and Joab did it anyway. And now Joab's facing the man that took his job over. Let's see what he's going to do there. Are you in good health, brother Amasa? He said. And Joab took Amasa by the hand with the right hand to kiss him. Typical greeting of the day. But Amasa took no heed to the sword. He didn't pay any attention to the sword that was in Joab's hand. So he smote him therewith in the fifth rib. He betrayed him with a kiss, didn't he? And he jammed the sword up under his fifth rib. And he shed his bowels to the ground. Everything fell out of him. And struck him not again. Just that one blow was all it took. And he died. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued after Sheba, the son of Bichri. So now we've got Amasa's, he's been stabbed with the sword. He's laying here dying in the dirt. And Joab and his brother Abishai took over just like old times. And they're leading the men down there. And one of Joab's men stood by him and said, He that favors Joab and he that's for David, let him go after Joab. Everybody that's with David said, Follow Joab. We're going to go catch this traitor. And meanwhile, Amasa wallowed in the blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway and into the field and cast a cloth upon it. It's like a car wreck. Everybody's stopping and gawking. See a dying man laying over here in the blood. So somebody drug Amasa off of the road and put him over here in the field and put a sheet over him. Cast a cloth upon him. When he saw that everybody's come and just stood still there, because like, we got to go. And when he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab, following him. They're going to go catch this Sheba guy, to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. And he, I believe that Sheba, went through all the tribes of Israel unto a place called Abel, and to Beth-Maachah, and all the Beeratites, and they were gathered together, and they went also after him. Now everybody's chasing him. And they came and besieged him in Abel of Beth-Maachah. And they cast up a bank against the city. He's trying to fortify himself in the city where they can't get to him. And he stood in the trench. They've dug trenches and they've built earthworks around. And all the people that were with Joab, they battered the wall to throw it down. They're trying to get into the city. They've got battering against the wall. And there's people into the city that they're just kind of innocent. This guy's ran in there, right? They're going to throw down the city, Joab and all his followers and his army's going to. But there was a wise woman. Thank goodness for her. She's going to save the whole city. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, said, Hear, say, I pray you unto Joab. Come near hither that I may speak, and let me talk to you, general. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, Are you Joab? And he said, I'm he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of your handmaid. And he said, I'm listening, I do hear. Then she spake, saying, I heard this in times past, maybe a prophet or something had said this. She spake, saying, They were wont to speak in old times, saying, They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. And she said, I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel? Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of this ain't right. Whatever he's done, don't destroy our city and kill a bunch of us. And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. I don't want that to happen. The matter is not so, but Joab's explaining to her, but a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, he's lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. Deliver him only. Put him out here and we'll spare you, city, and I'll depart from the city. And the woman said to Joab, Behold, his head will be thrown to you over the wall. We'll toss his head out to you and you go on. Then the woman went into all the people in her wisdom, and they cut the head off of Sheba. He found out that where he was trying to hide in that city, all at once they're all against him, like he's coming there to going to get their city destroyed? Like, no, cut his head off and throw it over the wall. We'll all be safe. So they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab. And Joab blew a trumpet. The battle's over. And they retired from the city, every man to his tent. And Joab returned to Jerusalem to the king. So the battle's over. One of these days the trumpet's going to blow, and the battle's going to be over here, church. We're going home. But in the meantime, we're in the battle still down here. Now, the rest of the chapter is just kind of an addendum on chapter 20 here, next 3 or 4 verses, to just fill in the blank here. That David's getting organized and getting all these officers back in place, and it just lists everybody's over something. The point is that just like the church today, everything has to be highly organized. Somebody's got to function here, and somebody's got to function here in the body of Christ. This is the Old Testament assembly here of the nation of Israel. But verse 23. Now Joab, he was over something. He was over the army again, all the host of Israel. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the Cherethites and over the Pelethites. And Adoram, he was over the tribute, all the money, the taxes, I guess. And Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was recorder. And Sheba was scribe. And Zadok and Abiathar were the priest. And Ira, also the Cherethite, was chief ruler about David, or David's right-hand man, I guess. But that's a chapter that shows that, hey, the sword didn't depart from David and his family because of his sins. God said this is going to follow you around the rest of your life, and it's a constant battle for him. But we'll get back to chapter 21 next week, and you can just see from your heading, if you got one that's going to be rated R2, there's going to be 7 people hung in this one. We'll see you next week, Lord willing, chapter 21.